The American Psychological Association reports that in the United States, 40 to 50% of married couples get divorced. That means nearly 1 in every 2 marriages end in divorce. In fact, according to NationMaster.com, the United States has the highest divorce rate internationally. I have family and friends who have been divorced or their parents are divorced. Sadly, the pain of divorce reaches beyond just immediate family. Divorce, which results from individuals' incorrect attitudes and actions, is widespread and yields painful consequences. However, divorce can be avoided by a selfless lifetime commitment to a spouse even before marriage. It is important to understand how rampant divorce is in our society. This evil device that destroys families is a result of humans acting wrongly toward each other. The problem of divorce can only be solved by individuals changing their behavior and attitudes toward others before as well as after marriage. Divorce is a rampant problem throughout America, with many unfavorable consequences. For one, divorce actually hurts economic growth. An online article from the Family Research Council identifies the triple divorce rate, which began in the 1960s, as the divorce revolution. The negative outcome of this divorce revolution is the slowing of economic growth. According to an online press release from Family Research Council, divorced men have a lower and fewer pay raise than married men, which hinders productivity growth. The FRC article also explains that married men are more economically productive than those who have been divorced. This same FRC press release quotes Dr. Patrikas. Besides population effects originating in the 1960s and 1970s, there are no other consequences of policy change that have had a greater effect in slowing economic growth than the divorce revolution. Not only does economic growth slowed by divorce, also divorce affects the lives of children. According to the Marriage and Religion Research Institute, or MARRI, each year in America the parents of over 1 million children divorce. The MARRI lists many effects divorce has on children. Divorce nullifies biblical family values, distorts masculine and feminine behavior, hinders learning capabilities, and affects mental and physical health in children. In fact, I have a cousin whose parents were divorced and he got ulcers. The most important problem with divorce is that it is opposite of monogamous marriage, which is something God values. In Matthew 19:6, Jesus teaches us about marriage, and he says, "What therefore God hath joined together, let no man put asunder." Divorce is prevalent as a result of humans acting wrongly toward each other. Dating is an action that teaches unfaithfulness. Many kids my age have dated multiple people already. When dating, people get used to going from one companion to the next before they are married. However, after they are married, they keep the same concept of, if this one doesn't work, I'll just move on to the next one. A friend once said that dating is simply teaching people how to break up. Another contributing factor to the divorce rate is the lack of commitment individuals have to God and each other. Selfishness also plays a major role in divorce. A common mindset nowadays is, I feel, I like, I want, and that is very detrimental to a marriage. In order to solve the problem of divorce, individuals have to be willing to change their attitudes and behavior. A biblical alternative to dating is for young people to think of young men and young women as brothers and sisters. Jesus spoke of this biblical principle in Matthew 12:50 when he said, "For whosoever shall do the will of my Father which is in heaven, the same as my brother and sister and mother." Jim Elliot once said, "It is true that a fellow cannot ignore women, but he can think of them as he ought, as sisters." The solution to the lack of commitment is obvious. Just do the opposite. Commit to God and each other. According to Glenn Stanton of Focus on the Family, being a committed, faithful believer makes a measurable difference in marriage. The National Survey of Families and Households shows that Christians who attend church faithfully have a 35% less chance to divorce than do non-Christians. In Ephesians 5, Paul likens Christians' relationship with Christ as a marriage. Then in verse 31, Paul says, "For this cause shall a man leave his father and mother, and shall be joined unto his wife, and they two shall be one flesh." However, this commitment is not possible if selfishness is involved. To avoid divorce, individuals have to think and act selfishly. A marriage thrives when a man and his wife have selfless love for each other. America's social problem of divorce is excessive. Families are broken by divorce when individuals act wrongly toward each other. What seems like an overwhelming problem can be reduced only when individuals before or after marriage change their attitudes and behaviors toward one another. Divorce, which results from individuals' incorrect attitudes and actions, is widespread and yields painful consequences. However, divorce can be avoided by a lifetime selfless commitment to a spouse even before marriage. Marriage, how God intended it to be, is illustrated by what a Puritan writer once said. As God by creation made two of one, so also by marriage he made one of two.